Hello, this is Mike Wade, Chief Options Strategist for Tom Gentile, and welcome to this video featuring Tom's tools and yours truly. Stock and options trading has large potential rewards, but also large potential risks. You must be aware of these risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the stock and options market. Don't trade money you cannot afford to lose. You know that. You also know I am not an advisor. Please don't construe anything I'm about to share with you as advice. All prices are in US dollars unless noted otherwise. Feel free to read the balance of the disclaimer at your leisure. All right, as I record this, Starbucks is just shy of 100. Had an earnings announcement yesterday that resulted in the stock really moving sharply to the upside. Now, let me ask you a question. Had you bought Starbucks at 80 and you bought 100 shares of Starbucks at 80, you'd be sitting on $8,000 of risk, $8,000 to buy 100 shares of Starbucks at 80. When the stock is almost at 100, let's say it's 100 just for sake of math, you'd be sitting on $2,000 of profit. All right, that position itself is worth $10,000. Now, what happens to your profit and even your risk if the stock goes the other way, which is always a possibility? So let me ask you this question. How would you like to reduce your risk and lock in profit? Of course, I know the answer to that is yes. So in this video, we're going to be talking about reducing risk and locking in profits with something called a collar. And we're going to be using Tom's Collar Finder to find these protective devices that allow us to reduce risk and lock in profits. So to accomplish that, we need to start with collar basics. So I'll take care of that for you. We're going to be using the collar searcher to find great collars. That's in Tom's tools. And then I'll give you some thoughts on adjusting your collars. All right, so back to the Starbucks chart. The stock is right at $100. So what can we do to protect our stock? All right, so obviously one thing we could do to protect our stock is to buy insurance, and that would be a put. So we could buy a 95 put. All right, that 95 put gives us the right to sell the stock at 95, even though it might be worth 70 in the event the stock drops. So that's my insurance. That's going to cost me money. So in order to reduce the cost of the insurance, we're going to be selling a higher strike call. In this case, in this example, a 115 call we could certainly do. That's going to generate some credit, and that credit will offset the cost of the put. So the thing to remember is the long stock and the short 115 call is a covered call. So you give up any upside above 115 by selling this higher strike call. So let's jump into Tom's tools and construct a collar that will lock in profit as well as reduce risk. This is the Starbucks position, the long stock position, buying 100 shares of stock at 80. You'd be sitting at, when the stock is right at 99.66 in this case, you'd be sitting on a profit of $1,966. That's a 24% plus gain in the stock purchase, which is excellent, of course, right? But what can happen is the stock can drop. If the stock drops, you would in fact lose that profit, some of it, maybe all of it, maybe even drop into your maximum risk. So you still have $8,000 of risk, which is your initial investment. So here's what I want to show you. How can we reduce this risk here from 8,000, maybe even lock in a guaranteed profit? All right, so we're going to use a collar to do that. We're going to buy a put and we're going to sell a call. Which ones? Let me show you how to find out. We're going to go into Tom's tools, go to single strategy, go to collars, and type in the symbol. Let's just for now leave all of these settings over here the same. I'm just going to type in Starbucks and I'm going to hit a search, and the software will go out and give me a few choices for the collars. Now there's trade-offs in collars like any trade. Some of them have more risk, some of them lock in more profit. For me, what I like to see is I like to buy my insurance somewhat below the stock price, and here you can see here the stock is just over 99. I'm going to buy the 95 put and then sell something above. And notice here I've got November and I've got January options. All right, so that's going to protect my stock for different periods of time. And buying a collar further out in time is going to cost you more money. That's just the way that it works. Let's just say I want to protect my Starbucks gain between now and 2020, January. So I click either one of these two legs here, and that's going to pop up this risk graph for me. And notice that it's built the collar for me. It's buying a 95 put that expires in January of 2020, the 17th exactly, and selling the 115 call. And my credit is 114, which offsets my 393 of insurance cost. Now, when I pull up this risk graph, it's going to assume that we bought the stock at the current price of $99.52. But remember, we previously bought it for $80. So let me show you the true picture here. I'm going to put in the price that I purchased the stock at, which is $80. And notice what happens here. Something very beautiful. Notice that there's a guaranteed profit now. All right. I also have a maximum profit of 3221. You can see the risk reward picture right down here. This is a bull call spread risk graph, or a long call spread. And you can see that the stock price is here. If the stock price continues, let me show you a little bit better. You can see the stock price is here, and as the stock goes up, there's more and more profit. Profit is shown down here, and you can see here that the worst case is that I'm going to make something between 1,000 and 1,500. Specifically, what that minimum profit is 1,221. So this trade, if you bought Starbucks at 80, Starbucks is currently trading at 99.52. This new risk profile is available to you. It's beautiful. You have a current profit of 19.52. You can lock in for a guaranteed profit, and no matter what happens with Starbucks, you're at least going to make $1,221. Now, what do you do with this trade? Let's think about, once you've constructed these collars, what do you do? Well, if the stock starts to rise, you're going to be making some money. So what you do is, when this trade reaches maximum profit or close to it, consider closing down your option trade and recollaring at a higher strike price, ratcheting up the collar. You can do the same thing to the downside. When you expect the stock is going to stop dropping, you can ratchet down your collar and profit as the stock starts to rise. All right, that's an introduction to the wonderful world of collars. They're really a great protection tool. They also lock in profit. So in summary, here's what you do. If you have a stock that has profit and you're interested in collaring, pop into the Collars Searcher, select your stock symbol. In our case, it was Starbucks. Leave all these other settings alone for now. Click your search button and take the collar of your choice. All of them have merit depending on your time horizons and what you expect the stock to do going forward. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the wonderful world of collars. Dig in, have fun, and I'll see you next time.